Today we're hanging out with Tucker Max. The book is called I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. There's a new movie coming out this Friday called I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. Now, Tucker, I wanted to know, when you go from a book, you obviously have a huge following with the book. Mm-hmm. When you go from a book to a movie, were you conscious of, the risk there? Because not every book translates perfectly to a movie.
Oh yeah, dude. There's no question. Niels and I, who wrote the script with me and produced the movie, we were very, very aware that there were a lot of things a lot of ways that could go wrong. And a lot of fans, because you read a book, you can kind of imprint like your own version of the characters and everything upon it. But once you make a movie, you commit your vision to celluloid, then that's it. You remove any sort of fantasy anyone has. And so we were very aware of that. We absolutely tried to sort of keep, dude, I lived that and I wrote the movie and produced it. So it's like, I tried to keep it as true to my life as possible. I think in a lot of ways, most ways we succeeded. Yeah.
Now, on the topic of the book, there are things in the book that not everyone approves of. There's like references to, drunk driving and stuff like that. Do you ever worry that you're setting an example for, a younger generation who's going to take you literally and they're not going to take you with a grain of salt?
Yeah, that's actually, what's weird is that people who read the book who are my age, who have lived all this stuff, they read it and they're like, oh man, that's so funny and it reminds me of the stuff I did in my life. And they understand how to read into the things that are right and wrong. They know a lot of stuff I do in there. I say, look, this isn't right. Like, this is messed up what I did.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest about it anyway. Dude, there is like, it's weird, man. There's like a younger set of people who read the book and they don't read that. It's like they don't even read that part of the book. It's like they just see what I do and say, all right, I'm gonna go out and do that. I'm like, if you imitate the actions without understanding, like getting the underlying principles behind them, you're doing it wrong. It's sort of like learning martial arts without learning sort of Eastern philosophy along with it. It's the same idea. There are a lot of people who do that, but I think those people are just young and stupid. And they're going to be young and stupid with or without me. I was a young, stupid kid. And it's not like I learned from Tucker Max,
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I'm creating these people. It's sort of like the video games create violent people. Of course not.
I want to try and give the audience a little bit of context. And you mention in your book some of the your parents' divorces and remarriages and how your dad's extramarital affairs ended up in Time magazine. Mm-hmm. I'm sort of wondering how exactly that shaped your view on women and what a relationship's supposed to look like and what at least a normal relationship looks like.
Well, there's no question. you don't get to be narcissistic without having parents who aren't really there a lot when you're a kid. You can't get someone like me coming out of a 2-parent loving stable household. It just doesn't happen, I might be smart and crazy, but I'm not going to be as reckless and as risk-taking as I am now. I don't know, dude. I don't even know if I'm the right person to answer that question. The right person to answer, you never have the right perspective on yourself. Probably the best person to ask that would be someone who knows me well, who could say, here's how he probably would have been with better parents, here's how he is now, and this is whatever. I don't know, dude. It's like it's impossible to know what would have happened. I can only tell you what did happen.
Yeah.
And what did happen is, I don't think my child was any worse than any number of other people who had, parents who were nice people but just weren't very good at being parents. And, 7 marriages between them and all that sort of shit. But I turned it into something positive for a lot of people, something that's entertained a lot of people and something that's very kind of funny and whatever, which is, it's the only thing you can do is you can take the experiences life gives you and make the best out of them. Mm-hmm. Some people have great experiences, some people don't, but just do what you can with them, play the hand you're dealt.
Is it tough to keep the stories coming as you get older? Because, of
course.
You got to keep drinking
life,
and having
life
sex.
Life is about change. Well, first off, I don't mind drinking and having sex. I will never.
But you got to keep doing that to keep the stories coming, though, right? The new content.
Look, life is about change. So it's. I get that question a lot. People are like, well, when does this end? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Whatever. It ends when it ends. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about what I'm doing right now. And when I don't want to do this anymore, I won't do it anymore. No big deal. I don't expect to be doing the same thing my whole life. I played with G.I. Joes when I was 8. I don't do it at 28. Same thing. Whatever. When I don't have any more stories, then I'll stop writing.